guys. So I don't have a PowerPoint or a projector or anything like that. I was trying to use one at the University of Montana, but they have some weird I don't know, like blocker thing on there, and I don't know. So I'm gonna be as creative as possible, and I really hope you can see this because I got these nifty little markers, and so hopefully it works. Okay, so I'm just gonna let you know I did my field experience at Hellgate High School under Jeffrey Brown, and he's a high school art teacher, and he teaches introductory to art, painting, and sculpture. And let me just say that I had the best time, best field experience I've ever had through Western, and I've had quite a few over 5 years. So this is saying a lot, and I'm so glad I had a chance to observe him for classroom management because, like I said, he's a great teacher. So I'm going to start off with some of his routines, and I'm just going to, say everything that's written up here in case, because I'm pretty sure this is coming off backwards on there. I don't know. I'm really sorry. Okay, so on routines, and I just picked 3 that I thought were really effective as far as classroom management goes. And the first one is the fact that he jokes a lot with his students. For example, the first day I come in, he's got this huge white beard. And the second day I come in, it's gone. And he hasn't had a bare face in like 13 years or something like that. And his students come in and they say, Mr. Brown, what the heck, where's your beard? And he says, oh, I'm Biff. I'm Jeff's brother, and he's at home watching chick flicks with his wife and eating ice cream and stuff in his face, things like, just little jokes that, either his students are laughing at because they're just so ridiculously silly, or they're like, dude, Miss Brown, you're not cool, like, knock it off. And it just kind of, it helps make the environment welcoming and not so stressed out, and students feel like they can kind of relax a little bit. So that's why I address that. Second one is that he really takes time to explain the school events with his students, like in his class. So for example, like, hey, you going to the football game tonight, or registration opens next week, what classes are you taking next year, and you're going to be a senior, want to talk about it, things like that. So it really opens up the conversational field between teacher and student, and he does that as a class and as individually, with individual students. So like I said, I think it's really effective, and he does that, like I said, every day. It's like a way to open up the field for students to communicate back with him. Next is consistency. And our books, and Wong really stress this, and the importance of students being able to rely on you for, consistency. They need to know what they're walking into every day. And Mr. Brown addresses this in our interview video, because I actually video interviewed him, and I'm going to upload the link with that. It's about 18 minutes, but I highly suggest you guys watch it because, like I said, he's a great teacher. He's been teaching for about 18 years, if I remember correctly, and he's got some really great ideas and just chock full of wisdom for educators. Next, I want to talk about the few incidences that did happen with problem behavior and how Mr. Brown really addressed those, I guess. So the first one is, we're just sitting there, this student just gets up and leaves. I mean, she just leaves. I'm like, dude, Miss Brown, that girl over there just left. And he's like, dang it, this happens all the time. He says, okay, Alex, watch the class. Everybody, Alex is in charge. Just keep working on your projects. I'll be right back. And kids keep working. He leaves. He finds a student. She's just rummaging through her locker, luckily, because he said that he's had incidences where students leave and do other things that are highly inappropriate. He found her, and actually he had a fellow teacher that was on prep period take her to the office so he could get back to his class. The only other incident was, this is actually pretty serious, was, you're probably going to laugh, right? This is serious. A student had thrown a pencil, and before you guys are all over there laughing at the fact that the student got in trouble for throwing a pencil, let me just say that this plays into his classroom rules, and I'll actually address that right now. Mr. Brown has 2 classroom rules, and they're not posted anywhere. He actually communicates them with the classroom, and since there's only 2, he thinks it's there's not really a need to post them anywhere. One of those rules is don't throw anything. And when he says anything, he means anything, not even a piece of paper in the garbage can. And this goes to the fact that his first year teaching, a student had taken an X-Acto knife, and they had thrown it from one table to another without the top on, and it actually hit a kid in the wrist and severed his artery. And if the ambulance wasn't on site that day, then that kid would have died from blood loss. So he made that a classroom rule right off the bat, like no throwing anything. If you do, you receive a 0 for the day, you get sent to the office, and you get a detention. And this kid walked up, he said, "I am so sorry, Mr. Brown. I knew I shouldn't have thrown it, wasn't even thinking about it. But yeah, I'll go to the office and take a 0 for the day." And he just had the utmost respect for Mr. Brown, and that is actually the first rule. He demands respect in all things. So, respect for yourself, your peers, me, teacher, pretty much everything. The classroom materials, the gum under the desk, and that he honestly explained to me, and after, listening to him, I happen to agree that a lot of problem behaviors and issues in the classroom can be avoided with, implementing respect. And, that plays into a lot of things that we actually read in our class. So I hope you guys agree. Next, I want to talk about his transitions and how he makes smooth transitions. And this is probably just the art nerd in me. So if there's any other art educators watching this right now, you're probably going to want to steal this. And I even told them I was. So let's say his class comes in from lunch and they're all rowdy. They're all talking to each other, poking each other, being rowdy kids. But they go in immediately back to consistency. They go and grab their sketchbooks because this is what Mr. Brown had taught them. This is what they do at the beginning of class. He comes up, he says, "Johnny, pick an item." He says, "A coffee cup." And then he's like, "Susie, pick an item." She says, "A football." And says, "Emma, item." And she says, "A penny, Mr. Brown, a penny." And then what they do is they get 15 minutes where they can converse together. But while they're doing this, they have to take those 3 items and they have to sketch them collaboratively into a sketch in their sketchbook. And this happens at the beginning of every class period. So it doesn't matter what the students are coming from or anything like that, but it helps really get them in the mode for art class, and it works really well. And I'm so glad I had a chance to observe it because, like I said, I'm still in it. I'm like, thank you, because that's going to be really effective. One of the things that was really stressed in a lot of our reading and from Mr. Wong and his videos was, our overall demeanor and our attitude and how students can pick up on that. And, I want to address Mr. Brown's enthusiasm. And he had a lot of it. A lot. First of all, he's really energetic. You can definitely tell he's passionate about art. His students can tell, makes them passionate about art. I noticed even the kids that weren't good at art or didn't even want to be in art but had to, satisfy their credits that they needed, even they were excited about projects and what they were learning in class. Next is that he's so happy. Consistency. He's happy all the time. And he addresses this in our interview too. When he's not happy, he tells his students, "Hey guys, I had a bad day. So I'm just not really, if I'm not making jokes or anything, it's nothing you guys did. I'm just not having a good day." Next is his lessons. And he's great at giving lessons. He really helps put it down on a student's level, so they can, wow, I'm totally drawing on vocabulary right now. So they can relate on a student field and on a personal field. For instance, his painting class was painting landscapes. So as they're doing that, he says, "I want you guys to think about interesting things that happened." in your life. Like, for instance, I remember in college I did a road trip in a Volkswagen bus, and it ended up breaking down in California. And while I was waiting 6 hours for a tow truck, I ended up just sketching all the things I saw, people, the ocean, everything, other vehicles. And he applied that story into his lesson to really help students like think about, like, okay, when was the time that I was stressed out, or when was the time that I had a really good time, or what's something I can relate to that I can draw for this lesson or this assignment. And it really addresses a lot of things that we learned about helping change lessons and things so students can relate to them better. And he did a great job at that and all the lessons I observed. So finally, conclusion. I overall thought that Mr. Brown did a great job at classroom management. As a matter of fact, I told him that if I could get placed there for student teaching, I would be thrilled, because he is fantastic. His students respect him. He really opens up so many doors for them, not only in art, but in life as well. Like, students come up and say, Mr. Brown, I don't understand. Why do I have to do this? And he says, okay, well, think of it this way. You're going to go into the real world someday, and your boss is going to say, hey, I need you to finish a stack of paper, and I need you to do this and that, and you're not going to want to do it, just like you don't want to do this assignment. But once you finish it, you're going to be proud that you finished it. And once you're in the real life, you're going to realize that you have to finish things that you don't necessarily want to. He's just overall, he's fantastic. And when we first started this class, I was a little bit overwhelmed, because I was like, classroom management? I don't know anything about classroom management, but in reality, we all do. There's a lot of things that are, second nature to us, that we apply in classrooms, and we apply when we talk to people and things like that, and we try to relate to other people, that we don't even realize that we're really doing it. And I think this whole class and the field experience and things like that really just, opened up a lot of doors for me, and really educated me on, methods and strategies that I never really even thought about until taking this class. And I get a student teach in the fall, and I'm just so excited to apply all this. And it really helps calm some nerves, because first thing you're thinking is, oh my gosh, I'm almost in a classroom, and I'm gonna have my own students, and I'm freaking out. What if they don't like me? What if I can't get them to listen? All those kinds of things that classroom management and this whole entire class really addressed and calm my nerves. So I really hope it was as effective for all of you as it was me. And like I said, I'm going to post the link for our interview, and go watch it, because he's awesome, and you guys are going to learn a lot. So thanks.